Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video with ZoomNets, and today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make $1,000 per day on autopilot using Evergreen webinar. This is a great way to sell any product that's over $500 and upwards to about $2,000, whether this be your own product that you're selling or if you're an affiliate that's selling higher ticket product. Webinars are a great way to promote because it has a higher conversion rate, and I'm going to show you how to set up this Evergreen webinar in today's video. So all right, let's get started. All right, so one of the reasons why marketers love webinars is that it has the highest conversion rate for any other funnels out there, and is the best way to sell any product that's over $500. And typically, because webinars are very engaging, you have a live person, or sometimes it will seem like it's a live person that's kind of taking you through the whole entire presentation, so the people are really engaged, and at the end of the presentation you make your offer and then you can sell them. So it's a little bit different than like a VSL, because a VSL people comes there and they're kind of like, oh, it's just a video sales letter that you just kind of see it and it's people clicks out of it, whereas a webinar, it feels like it's live, right? It's like a real seminar that you're actually attending. So this is why webinars are very effective at selling higher ticket product. Now, the biggest challenge that a lot of webinars have is show rate. So a lot of people either don't show up, or they maybe misses the webinar, they show up late, they don't see the whole entire presentation. So this is what we're going to be focused on, is trying to increase the show up rate for our webinars, so that we get as many people to see the presentation, and then that's gonna increases your conversion rate and more sales, right? So in today's video we're going to be breaking down all the different steps and how to build a perfect evergreen webinar that is going to make sure that no one misses the presentation. Now, I'm not going to go into details on what to say inside of the presentation of the webinar. That's a whole nother topic and a whole nother subject in itself. You can check out Russel Brunson's perfect webinar, where he teaches you what to say inside of the webinar. But this is more on the funnel setup. So how to set up a webinar so that you're going to have higher show rate and then higher conversion rate. So I'm going to show you all of that in this video. So this is what the funnel is going to look like. So I'm going to you can kind of conceptualize to see what it's going to look like. So you're going to have your registration page. So that's going to be the page that you're going to be sending traffic to, whether organically or through ads or whatever. That is the main landing page, registration page they're going to come to register for the webinar. And on this page, you're going to have a countdown timer to the specific date and time of the webinar date, right? So whatever your webinar date says, say for example your webinar is on the November the 5th at 12 p.m. whatever, you're gonna have the countdown timer set towards that date. Okay, so they're gonna register until that date is done. So and then once they register, they're gonna be taken to a confirmation page. But on this confirmation page, we're gonna have what's called just in time, that there's another webinar starting just in time in 10 minutes, right? So if there are people that are not, they don't want to wait until the actual webinar date to watch the webinar, they want to watch it now, they can wait. They just have to wait like 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever. You can set it to whatever the time is, so it's going to count down from the time that the page loads. So whatever one of the page loads is going to say in 10 minutes, or it's going to be say 5 minutes, another webinar is about to start. Okay, so they can wait on this page, and then once the countdown timer ends, they're gonna have a video that pops up. They can watch. That's gonna be the webinar. It's all pre-recorded, so it's not really live. It's gonna look like it's live, but it's not, right? So you're just gonna have it pre-recorded, and that video is gonna pop up. The video is gonna start playing and at the end of the countdown timer. Now, whether they watch this video or not, they're still going to be sent an email after they register. So the email is basically just a reminder to set a time for the webinar date. So you're going to give them the date that you're going to send them an email to. But if they did watch the webinar towards the end, on this page, they're gonna have a buy button is gonna pop up at the end of the webinar. Now, the buy button is not gonna be displayed at the time that they watch the webinar. Is only gonna show up towards the end of the webinar. So that way they have all of the information that they need to make that buying decision, right? So we don't want to present them the price until the end of the webinar, after they have seen the presentation, after this gather all the information and all the stuff, right? And then once they hit the buy button, they're going to be taken to the order form page. So that's where they can fill out all their information and they can make that purchase. Now, if they didn't stay on this page, they are going to actually wait for the actual webinar date. We're going to have a second email reminder that's going to be sent to them, and this email reminder is going to be sent on the day of the webinar. So we're going to have it set up specifically to be sent on that day of the webinar, and we're going to have it sent about 45 minutes or half an hour before it. So whatever time frame you want to set it. So if your webinar starts at 12 p.m. on this specific day, then you can set it 11 p.m. right? So you can set it to whatever date that you want to set, time you want to send it. So once they get the email is going to send them a link to the broadcast page. The broadcast page is going to also have a countdown timer that matches the same timer that was on the registration page. And because it's going to count down to the specific time when the webinar starts. Once the countdown timer goes to 0, we're going to have our first video that's going to pops up. And then same thing towards the end of the video, they're going to have an opportunity to buy the product. They're going to have a buy button, and the buy button is going to, once they buy, it's going to take them to the order form page. Now, if they didn't watch the broadcast webinar, they didn't watch the webinar on the confirmation page, they just forgot to watch it, they just forgot to get the email, or maybe they just showed up late or whatever, they're going to get a third email that tells them to go watch the replay. And this email is going to send them to another page where there's going to be a replay that's sent. And this replay page is not going to have a timer. They're just going to be sent that replay. Now this email, the replay email, is going to be sent a couple hours after the webinar ends. So we want to have it sent after the second email. So about 3 or 4 hours, the second email, right? So, and then same thing, buy button towards the end of the video, and then they can go purchase at the order form page. And then of course, once they make the purchase, we're gonna have a thank you page and then a final email confirmation of the purchase. So this is what the whole entire webinar funnel looks like. And today's video, we're going to build that webinar funnel. Now, the software that I'm going to be using is called Outreach AI, and that's the software that we're going to be using to build a webinar funnel. But this software is not just for webinars, but you can also use this for other types of funnels. It comes with email marketing, automation. You can even host your webinar videos inside of it, so you don't have to use like a third-party video hosting like YouTube or Vimeo. So you can actually host the videos inside of Outreach. But it also comes with the email automation, funnel builders, website builders, SMS. They are an all-in-one tool for you to build your marketing funnels, your online business, whatever you need is within Outreach. That's the one that we recommend using. So if you want to sign up for Outreach, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Just keep in mind, this is an affiliate link. So if you do sign up, we do get a commission. There's no extra charge for you. You pay the same prices as everybody else. We just get a commission for signing up. And if you want to sign up using our affiliate link, we're also going to give you a bonus, which is going to be the actual template, the webinar template that we build inside of this. So you're going to be able to import it directly into your Outreach account from us. You'll be able to download that as well. I'll leave a link below where you can download the actual webinar template that we're going to be building today. And I'm going to show you how to set all of it up, where to set up the timer, where to how to set up the triggers and the email workflows and all of those things. I'm going to show you all of those things, and you'll be able to you don't have to start from scratch. You can just import that template into your Outreach account, but you have to sign up Outreach using the affiliate link that we provided. I'll leave a link in the description below, so you'll be able to sign up for that. Just so check that out, and let's get started. Alright guys, so now we are here inside of Outreach AI, and this is what the dashboard looks like. If you have already signed up and you're inside of the dashboard, this is what we should be able to see. And what we're going to do is we're going to first go to websites, and that's where we're going to build our webinar funnel. Now, I've already have a webinar funnel built. I already have the template. You can get that template down in the description below. But if you don't have the template, you want to just build it from scratch, you can hit new funnel and then you can just start from blank, or you can use their preloaded templates. But the template that I have is built specifically for webinars. Okay, so I'm gonna pull that one up and I'm gonna show you so you can at least get familiar with how to use the funnel builder. So if you never used drag and drop funnel builder before, you know, it's really easy. It's kind of, if you ever use like ClickFunnels or any of these other drag and drop builder, it's very similar to this. So I'm gonna show you how to do this inside of this one. Okay, so inside of your funnel, the drag and drop, so just kind of give you the short crash course on using drag and drop funnel builder. What you get is you'll have elements here. Okay, so you're gonna have sections, rows, elements. Okay, so these are the main threes that you're gonna be using. All the elements are your headlines, sub-headlines, buttons, and you know, all these little stuff like image, videos, all these are elements. And they all sit inside of rows. And the rows can have columns like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. The rows sits inside of the sections. So sections are just full width. You know, that's all there is. You can't do multiple, you know, columns inside of sections. So sections inside of sections will have rows, and rows inside of rows will have columns, and inside of columns you'll have the elements. So I'll show you what it looks like, right? So we'll start out with a section here, and I'm gonna pull the section. So now we have one section. See, it's a green arrow, the green highlight, that's a section. Okay, inside of the section you can add a row. So we have a row here, we're gonna add one column. You can also add another row inside of the same section, but let's say we want to do a 2-column row. So now we have 1 row and 2-column row. Inside of 1 row you can have a headline. So you have a headline, and then underneath it here you can have like a video, and then right here you'll have a button. You can add a button here. You can add more headline. Now if you want to switch, move these around, you can just grab this little drag here, and then you can just drag them around. If you want to drag them, put them on top of here, you can do that too. You can also use the arrow keys to kind of switch places between each of them, right? So it's really easy to use. And then of course, you know, you can add more elements like videos, FAQs, forms. You can even add custom codes. You can add countdown timers, progress bars. So whatever elements you want to. So that's kind of just like the gist of it. It's just you're gonna have the elements sitting inside of the rows. Now we're gonna get into building our funnel. So I'm gonna show you the important stuff like the countdown, and you know, where to have like the video pops ups and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna delete all these, and I'm gonna start going over the actual funnel itself. Okay. All right, so we have right here is the registration page. Now on the registration page, we're gonna have these buttons that says save my seat. So once they click on the button, we'll have right here, we can change the properties of the elements, right? So the buttons will have these properties where we can change the size of the button, the size of the font inside of the button. So this one right here goes like that. If you drag it, you can kind of change the size of that font. Okay. You can change the color of the button as well. If you want to change it to blue, you can do that. Okay, so it'll just be on the background. You can also change, like if you go to the advanced settings, you can change the button effects. You can have it glow, you can have it rocking, you know. So we're not going to use any effects, just going to keep it simple. Now the main key feature of the button is the action that is going to trigger. Okay, so this is where the button action is. So when they click on the button, what is going to happen? Okay, where is it going to take them? You can have them go to a link, so it can go to another page, or you can have a pop-up. All right, so we're going to have a pop-up here. The pop-up is going to be a form that collects the information. Okay, so now to go to pop-up, you're going to come to this right here. It's a pop-up setting. Okay, And then right here, we already have a form that's already created that says reserve your spot. They're going to be able to enter their email, the name and email, and then they click on this button. Now, once that button is clicked, what's going to happen? This is the master button. That button is going to take them to the next step in the funnel, which is going to be the confirmation page. Okay, so we want to make sure that the redirect action is going to be set to the next step in the funnel. So we're just going to save that. Now, if you don't see this form already here, you may need to create a new form. Okay, so let's say like if this form doesn't exist, right? The pop-up setting is going to look like this, right? And then you just need to say add element, and you need to add form. But the form has to be created in advance. Okay, so I'm going to show you also how to create a form in advance. But this is the webinar registration form that I've already created. So this is the form. Okay, now to create this form in advance, you need to go back into Outreach, and then we're gonna go into websites, and then we're gonna go into forms. Okay, and then we have all the different forms that we've already created. I'm gonna start from scratch. So now you can also create a new form here. Okay, so I can say drag and drop full name, and then we'll just say email, and then have a button. Make sure the button's down here. You can change the properties of the button, the color. You can change the text. Right here it says, you can says submit. Right. So it's pretty straightforward, and then you can have it. So you can kind of play around with it until you design the form exactly how you want it to be. Okay, so that's just kind of give you the crash course on building forms. So form has to be built separately on a different section of the page, so you can't build it inside of it. So you can only bring the forms that you've already built. Now this is going to be great because now each form has its own unique properties, and you can have a unique trigger for each forms. And we're gonna once we start using the workflows, it's gonna be more efficient this way. Okay, so that's the form. And then we have, so every button that says save my seat, save my seat, save my seat, is all gonna have the open pop-up trigger. So anytime someone clicks on this button, it's gonna open pop-up. Okay, now let's talk about this button right here. So why do we have this button? Okay, the reason why we have this button is because of this countdown timer. This countdown timer is set to 1 day from now. Okay, now there are 3 types of countdown timers. We have a countdown timer and then a minute timer. The one that we have right here is called the countdown timer, and the countdown timer is specific towards the date. So you can see the properties. When does the countdown ends? So we have it set to October the 7th. Okay, and we have it set to a specific time. You can have it set to any time, like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. If you want it set to a specific time, we'll say I want it to be at 5 p.m., at 5:30 p.m., or 5:20 p.m., whatever. You can have it set to very specific time. You can also choose your time zone. If you're in New York, whatever time zone that you're in, you can set to that time zone. Okay, now another thing that you can also have is the expire action. So this is what this is for. Okay, so once this countdown timer ends and expires and it hits 0, what we have set here, it says that you can either have it redirect the URL to whatever page that you want to send them to. Okay, so if you have a link right here, when the countdown timer ends, it's going to automatically take somebody who is on this page to another page. But we don't want to do that. We just want to have it set and show high element. Okay, so what we do here is we have it set so that when the countdown timer ends, it's going to hide all of the button that says save my seat, save my seat, save my seat. So you notice right here is that 4 out of 85 elements are selected under hide elements. So notice where it says save my seat button 1, save my seat button 2, save my seat button. Now, how do I know these buttons? Why are these buttons named? So how do you name the buttons? You name the buttons when you click on the buttons right here on the top, element name and title. So you can name it whatever you want to name it. So I can even name it save my seat button. Save my seat, we'll just call it save first button. Okay, so just for the sake of the demo. And then we can go back here. You'll notice right there it says save my seat first button, right? So it's, you can, that way you want to name these elements so that way when you go find them you can figure out which one it is. If you have like, you notice like all these other elements I didn't really name them, I just have them first column, row, icon, bullet, list, whatever. This is gonna get confusing because you don't know which elements that you want to, you know, call to. So you want to make sure that you're naming the elements as well. But anyway, I have it named to this. So it's selected 4 of these elements. So what's going to happen is that once the countdown timer hits 0, all of these save my seat buttons are going to disappear, and then the go watch now button is going to show up. So the go watch now buttons, now we can see it because we're inside of the editor, but anybody that comes to this page, to the live page, they're not going to be able to see this button until this countdown timer ends. And the reason why we have it set up that way is because when the countdown timer ends, they can't register for it anymore, right? So they can only watch it. So we want to just don't worry about registering, just go watch the webinar. So they can click it and then they're going to be redirected. And now for this button, we're not going to say open pop-up. We're going to actually put in a URL website, okay? So we're going to have the link of the URL for the broadcast page, okay? Now we're going to bring that over here. So to do this, we're just going to go back. Okay, so we're going to go to the broadcast page. And then we're going to go into settings. Now we don't have a domain selected that's connected to it yet, so I'm just going to select it and add a dummy domain, okay? And so now we have a link right here. This is the link of, now this is the main link of the whole entire webinar page, but we want to get the broadcast page link. So this is the broadcast page. So I have it highlighted. Here's the broadcast page link. I'm going to copy this link, okay? And we're going to go back in here. We're going to edit. Now we are here. We're going to hit on this go watch now button, and then we're going to say link to, and then I'm going to paste the link that we had earlier, okay? And then we're going to save that. All right. So now when the countdown timer ends, all of these other buttons are going to disappear, and then only this button is going to show up. Now to demonstrate this, I'm going to change this right now. So today's date is October the 6th, 11:14, right? So we're gonna do October the 6th, and then we're gonna do 11. This is AM. So we're gonna 14, 15. All right, so we're gonna do 15. It's gonna start in 23 seconds. Okay, so let's go preview this. All right, so this is what it looks like. They're gonna register. Here's a pop-up. Now the countdown timer is about to end. The registration date is about to end. 4 seconds, 3 seconds left. Boom. Go watch now button appears. And then they're going to be taken to the registration page. I mean, not to the registration page. They're going to have the broadcast page. Now it says ended because I have the date set up. I'll get to that in a little bit, but that's the whole point, is that once the countdown timer ends, they can no longer register. They can just have it go watch, right? Now, if you want to still have them register, you can do that. You just have to like get rid of this button and then get rid of the functions behind it. You still want to collect the emails, that's fine. Just do the same thing. Or you can just, you know, hit the go, have it hit the pop-up button and then just go, right? So that's the main page or the registration page. So now once they are registered, they're going to be redirected to the next step. So the redirect is going to happen after the pop-up. All right, so after they put in their email, the information, this button right here, the button action redirect, that's going to go to the next step. Okay, so let's go look at the next step. All right, so over here we have the confirmation, also a waiting room page. So we're gonna go in here. All right, so here we have the confirmation page, and then we have what we call is just in time. Okay, now you can have this timer is different than the other timer. This timer is not the countdown timer. This timer is the minute timer. Okay, so what's the difference? The countdown timer and the minute timer, the difference is that only shows up on page load. So it starts counting down. So I have it set to 1 minute and 30 seconds. So what that means is that it will start counting from the time that the page loads for 1 minute and 30 seconds. So that means that when someone comes on the page and the page loads, so if you have it set to 5 minutes, after 5 minutes, you're gonna have your triggers happen. So basically, you know, what we're trying to accomplish here is that just in time, in 5 minutes, we have another webinar starting in 5 minutes, but it's really just the 5 minute is just from the load time. So it's 5 minutes from the page loading, okay? And then we have it same thing, the expire action. So once it hits 0, we're gonna have it show the element, which is gonna be this right here, which is this video. This is the webinar video. So they're not gonna see this video until it goes to 0, and the video is gonna pop up. Okay. Now the cool thing about this Outreach AI is that you can have these video hosted inside of your page, inside of your software. So you don't need to have a Vimeo account or even a YouTube account. You can have all these videos hosted, and you can have it autoplay. You can have, you know, show the progress bar if you wanted to. Now what we have right here is this countdown timer, and it's selected for video webinar section. So this whole entire section contains the video and another countdown timer. So notice we have 2 countdown timers this time. So this section contains a video countdown timer and this little, you know, notification that says turn on the volume. So because the video, once the video start playing, the volume is not turned on automatically, so they have to turn it on. So we're just gonna make sure that we have that label on the top as well, so they know. So what is this countdown timer for? Okay, so this countdown timer is the same as this one, but it's a little bit longer, and this countdown timer is going to be timed in accordance with this video. So let's say the video is about 10 minutes long, right? This countdown timer is going to set to 10 minutes as well. So towards the end of the video, when the countdown timer ends, this section is going to pop up. Okay, this section is the exclusive offer buy section. So this is where they're going to be able to see the actual price and the button. So they're not going to see this section until the video ends. Okay, and they're not going to see this video section until this countdown timer ends. Okay, so to demonstrate what it looks like, I'm going to just set these ones to, let's say, I'm going to set this to 20 seconds. And then I'm going to set this to, say, 30 seconds. And I'm going to show you what it looks like, how all of this gonna comes. Now, you also have on this confirmation page, if you want to, give them like handouts and download digital assets or whatever other stuff that you want them to go download or buy. So if you have like a little bonus that you want them to go buy, you can also have that as well. Okay, but this is just a section for it. So I'm going to show you how this countdown, demonstrate how it looks in live. Okay, so we're going to go into preview here. Okay, so now it's loading. We're on to say, hey, we have another webinar starting in 20 seconds, right? So they don't see anything else. They just have these things that you want to download them before the webinar starts. They can download these things. So you can have it set to whatever time. Now I just have it set to seconds. We don't want to take too long, right? Oh, now we have the video pops up and the video is playing. Make sure the volume's turned on. and then the videos ends, right? And then boom, this thing pops up. So towards the end of the video, once that countdown timer ends, we have this pops up. So that's how we want them to set up. We don't want them to see the price until they watch the video all the way through, okay? And that's the template that we have set up. So far, so good. All right, now the next part is the email workflow, okay? So we're gonna go back into the dashboard here, and we're gonna go into automation. Now, all the people who've registered on the first page are going to be sent a email follow-up, okay? The email follow-up is gonna look something like this. So I have a workflow that's I've already created. You're gonna be able to get this as well. You're gonna be able to get this template, but this is very simple to create. The first, you're gonna start off with adding a new workflow trigger, okay? So for this one, I have selected form submitted. So it should say form submitted, right? So the form submitted, we're gonna make sure that we add a filter. So we're gonna make sure that it's what type of form is it. Now remember the form that we created earlier. So we're gonna go here. It says form is, and then we're gonna find that form, which is the webinar registration form. Okay, so we're gonna make sure that the form that we have is selected is webinar registration form. Now I've already got that done right here. So this is the webinar registration form. So it's already right here. Okay, and then we're gonna, once they submit that form, so as soon as they register, they're gonna get this email confirmation that's gonna trigger. So to add it, you just say add, and then we can say send email. Okay, I've already done that here, so I don't need to do that, but here is the email. So email 1, webinar register. You're gonna put your name and you're from whatever email domain that you're registering from, and then you have the subject line say you are registered. Hey, go check out your webinar is registered at. Now you're gonna put the date, right? So we have it say October the 7th, 2023, and then we'll have it time, let's say, I don't know, 12 p.m. right? So just remember, so they'll save that, and you can even put the link of the webinar broadcast page, right? So we are back here. You'll notice right here, this is the broadcast page. I'm gonna put that right here. I'll put the link right here, so they can go and check out the broadcast page. Now, once they go to the broadcast page, they're not gonna be able to see the webinar yet. Okay, so let me show you real quick what it looks like. So let's say we set the timer to October the 7th, 11, we'll just call it 12 p.m. Save, and then so we'll have it here, and then all right, so we have this right here. Okay, so if they get this email, they're gonna be able to click on this link, okay, where they're gonna come to the broadcast page, and the broadcast page does not have the video yet, right? So it's still counting down towards the date of the video. So we say it will begin in 1 day, whatever the date that you have it set to. Okay, just make sure to download the handouts or whatever. So you can even have the link of the video. Okay, now you want to make sure that the second email, all right, so you save this, and then on the day of the video, okay, so right now we have the date set to October the 7th at 12 p.m. We want a second email sent. Okay, to do this, you're gonna hit plus, and then you're gonna go to date and time formatter. Okay, so we have it already selected right here, and I'm gonna have it date and time formatter selected. And then on this date, we're gonna make sure that it lines up with the date that we've already have it selected. So our webinar starts at October the 7th at 12 p.m. October the 7th at 12, right? Okay, our webinar starts at October 7th at 12 p.m. So we're gonna have the email sent at 11:15 a.m. Okay, so at 11:15 a.m., which is 45 minutes before the webinar starts, we're gonna have a reminder email that's gonna be sent 45 minutes. But make sure you need to have this trigger formatter set in place. So this email is only gonna trigger about 45 minutes before it. Okay, so that's what's gonna happen. And then once this email is sent, it's gonna say, hey, the webinar will start in 45 minutes. Click below to join, and you're gonna have the same thing. You can have it link to the webinar URL, the broadcast page, okay, and then saved, right? And then after the webinar ends, we're also gonna wait another. We're gonna do a wait. Okay, we're gonna do a delay. So you can add this action right here, and then you're gonna hit wait. We're gonna have this delay function that's gonna wait 3 hours after the webinar ends. Okay, we're gonna save that, and then after 3 hours, we're gonna send them a third email. That third email is gonna say, hey, go watch the replay of the webinar here. And then right here, you're gonna have the link to the webinar replay page. So we'll do that later, but just to show you, you can bring in the link of the replay page and then just add it to that. Now, the broadcast page. All right, so this is really important. So the broadcast page is going to have your webinar, what the time that the webinar is going to begin, right? So we have it set to October the 10th, okay? And then we're gonna have it triggered where at the end of when the countdown timer ends at the October the 7th at 12 p.m. it's going to show this video, this section, okay? This whole entire section is called webinar video column. So this is triggered so that at the end of when the timer expires, it's going to show the webinar video column, okay? So it's going to show that column, and then there's going to be another timer down here that it's set about the duration of the video, okay? So this timer, you need to have it also set similar to this timer. So whatever this timer is, that's like a day and 29 minutes left. This is going to set 1 day and 1 hour left. So this it's gonna just basically give about whatever the time. So think about it like this, right? If your webinar starts at October the 7th at 12 p.m. and your presentation is about 1 hour long, then you need to have this date set to October 7th at 1 p.m. right? So that way, towards the end of the presentation, you're gonna have this pops up as a trigger, okay? So this triggers at the expires, and it shows up this whole entire section, which is what we call is the limited time exclusive offer section. And here's another thing, you're also gonna have another timer here, okay? And this timer is set about another 30 minutes more than this timer. So what this is going to do is that once this ends, this pops up, they're gonna have about 30 minutes to 45 minutes to make a buying decision. Now you can have it set to whatever time, so you wanna have it 10 minutes or 20 minutes, let's say about 30 minutes. They're gonna have about 30 minutes to think about this offer. This is gonna create urgency. So they're gonna be able to see the price and say, hey, you know what? This is normally set at this price, but we're gonna offer it for this amount only. And you have 30 minutes to make a decision, or this deal is gonna disappear forever. And what happens when this timer goes to 0? We're gonna hide this page and this one, and then this page is gonna pop up that says webinar has ended, and then this is gonna also disappear as well. All right, so let's look at I'm gonna show you how that look in action. Okay, look at this. Okay, webinar will begin in 10 seconds. Oop, all right, there we go. Webinar is playing. We have about 58 seconds, so let it load. So the webinar is going to keep playing and playing and playing. We don't want our buy button or whatever to show up until the webinar ends. We want the buy button, so we want to make sure that they have all the information until the webinar ends. Okay, so let's wait. All right, so now we have the exclusive time offer, and then they have a limited time to make a decision until the deal disappear forever. So this is going to create some urgency. The countdown timer is going to start counting down, so that way they're going to be like, oh, okay, I gotta buy this now, or else this deal is going to disappear forever. So they're going to make a decision, talk to whatever, they're going to reassess it, and you can have the webinar keep playing. Now you can have it webinar playing, and having this already show up before the webinar completely ends. So you can kind of like time it however you want to time it. So make sure that while they're looking at this, they're also maybe hearing your voice, just kind of giving that little push, whatever. So they're thinking about it, and then let's see what happens when the seconds count down to 0. And boom, all of them disappear, and now it says webinar has ended. Click here to watch the replay, and that button is going to take them to the replay page. Okay, so anybody who shows up to the webinar late, like they got the email and they click on it, they're only going to see this. They're not going to see the webinar anymore. They're just going to go to the replay page. So if they open their email late, say like they got this email right here that said webinar reminder, and let's say that they open like 5 hours late, they click on this, they're going to be taken to this page, and they're only going to see that webinar has already ended, and they can hit the watch replay. Okay, now regardless, they're still going to get an email that takes them to the replay page. But this is how you set up the broadcast page, and you have all these triggers. All right, so I've already built the templates. Once again, you can download this template, and all you have to do is change the time dates in accordance with your time and your webinar. So with this one is that you do want to reset the dates every 1 week. So if you have your broadcast, you should do like a broadcast once a week. So you have it every Monday at specific time. So after the webinar ends, you just need to go update the page on that, right? And then it'll reset. So let's say that today the webinar just ended today. I'll wait about a couple hours, maybe a day, and then I'll just say I'm gonna reset this towards the next Friday, right? And I'm gonna do the same thing down here. I'll say let's reset it toward next Friday. Let's reset it towards next Friday. Boom. So just you do the same thing. Now it's resets to the hours and the exact times that you want it to reset to, right? So right here, 6 days from now. So you want to just after a day that you finish your webinar, you just want to reset these, and then save. You go back. You just have to make that one change every once a week. All right, so now we have our replay page, so we're going to check that out. All right, so on the replay page, there is no countdown timer to the video. So the video is going to start playing as soon as the page load. However, you do have a countdown timer that is under the video. So this is going to set the same time as the length of the video. So the video is, let's say, 1 hour long. This countdown timer is going to set to 1 hour. Now this is going to count down from the page load. So it's going to be 1 hour from the time the page loads. So the video is 1 hour. It's going to go to 1 hour as well. And then you also have the offer page that's going to pop up when their countdown timers goes to 0 for this one, and then this is going to be 1 hour and whatever amount extra minutes that you want to set to. So let's say if you want to set to 30 minutes, so this one right here is set to 1 hour, this is going to set to 1 hour and 30 minutes, right? So this is already loading from the time that the page loaded. So as soon as the page loaded, this is already loading. So these are both loading at the same time, but this is just going to be another extra 30 minutes or 45 minutes, however you wanted to add to the time of the entire length of the video. So that way this thing pops up at the end of the video, and then they have about they should probably have about 30 minutes left, or whatever amount that you want to set to left to make that decision. We'll do the same thing. All right. So we need to make sure that the link to the order form is attached to the buttons on the buy buttons, right? So let's say right here, copy this. Okay. We're gonna go here and insert this one first. Oops. Let's go into edit. Here on this buy button, we're going to say link to. We don't want to say open pop-up this time. We want to say link to, okay, website URL, and then that's gonna go to the order form page. Okay, so once they click on this button, it's gonna go to the order form page. We don't want to say it where we say we don't want to select like next step, because the next step in the funnel is actually the broadcast page. So we don't want them to go to the broadcast page. We want them to go to the order form page, and then we're going to do the same thing on the broadcast page. So on this buy button, same thing. We're going to do open URL, and then boom, just like that. Save. Go back. Right, and then this one. Now you can have this go to the next step if you wanted to, because the next step is the order form page. But just to be consistent, I'm just gonna put the order form page, just in case if you ever add another steps to it. So we're just gonna make sure that the button goes to the order form page. All right, let's go back. All right, so that's everything for the webinar. Now let's talk about the order form page. Now the order form page, you do need to first create a product and have a product that's already added. So if you go to the order form page, you're gonna have goes to product, and you're gonna add a product. Now to create a product, you need to go into your payments, and then you're gonna go up to the tab that says products. I have a demo product that I've already created for $100. This is just for demonstration purposes, but if you want to create a new product, you can start right here. Name of the product, give them a description, product type, physical goods, a service, or digital goods. Put images if you want to. Name of the product, name, price, product pricing name. So this is kind of like, this is your exclusive offer, one-time deal, whatever the name you want to give them. And then if you want to do a lifetime, you want to do a reoccurring subscription or a one-time payment, you can have the amount every month or whatever, you know, and you can create that product here. And once you have that product created, you're now back into your funnels, and at the step of the order form page, you're going to select the product that you want to sell on that order form. Okay, and the order form is already done right here. Let me show you real quick. So the order form is already done. You can change all this information with whatever. This is just a template, right? And you have your order form, complete order form. This is gonna show up dynamically. So whatever the pricing that you're gonna have set up, it's gonna show up dynamically. And then once the button hits complete, it's gonna go to the next step, which is going to be the thank you page. Okay. So here's the thank you page, and then you'll have right here, it's a thank you for your order, check your email. Now the email confirmation that they're gonna get needs to be in another workflow, so I don't recommend putting in the same workflow. So right now we have the webinar workflow, which is this one right here. Okay, so this is the workflow, and what I would do is I would create a another workflow from scratch, and this time, this workflow is going to be for everybody who purchased. So we're gonna add a trigger, and then right here we're gonna say order submitted, add a filter. We're gonna go to global product and then say is demo digital product. So everybody that bought this product, they're gonna be triggered. An action is going to be triggered, and then they're going to have an email sent, and it's going to be an email order confirmation. Okay, and then we'll say, thank you for your order, and then say thank you for your order. All right. And then of course, you can put the link, click here to get access. So you can link to whatever, if it's a digital product, or maybe if it's a physical product, that you can kind of tell them that we're processing your order. You get an email confirmation with the the shipping or whatever, right? So that's the email order, and then you can just save that and then go back. I'm just gonna X out of it. So yeah, that's it. You have that workflow, and then you have the templates, and that's how you set up your webinar funnel. So hope you guys enjoyed this video and learn a lot. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment below and I'll try to answer some of the questions. But if you want to set up this webinar, use the link in the description below to sign up for Outreach. Once again, it is an affiliate link for us. So if you do sign up, you're going to get this whole entire template as a bonus. So I also leave a link below where you can download this template as well. Once again, give us a like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in future videos.